53 gods and prophets, hurricanes and boomers. Both suck and both blow. I will be talking about that, but first, Sacred Outlaw.
Fallen rain. I walk the steps that lead to your door. Another mountain for me to endure. Made mistakes, I'm every man. There's a give and take at your command. Don't let the sound of falling rain change you, baby. Never again. Close your eyes and take a breath. It's only me and I'm feeling wrecked. Don't let the sound of falling
Beating you up, baby.
rain change you, baby. Never again. You turn your head and smile at me. To having to hold, just let it be.
It's a beauty thing about fire.
Love in your heart, I came tonight. It tears me apart from inside. So don't let the sound of falling rain change you, baby. Never again.
Got a good one.
Close your eyes and take a breath. It's only me and I'm feeling red.
And that's gonna have to do for the transition today. We're here in the bunker while Hurricane Ian is drowning us out. We're ignoring the pleas of small children even as we speak, and all of those animals. Yes, we've sent out a rescue mission. The Chinese restaurants are on the prowl. Hello, I'm telling truth.
Yogi Bear.
And Mark Santana.
And this is Gods and Prophets podcast, episode 53. So today we're going to be talking about the one thing that is on every single Floridian's minds, Hurricane Ian.
Fuck Ian.
Yeah, honestly, fuck
faring over
Ian.
there?
What a terrible, terrible bastard. He just keeps knocking on my door.
Yeah, he's fucking up the coast right now. East Coast.
What is it at? 133 miles an hour? 37? They were teasing Category 5.
Yeah, I think it.
Ah.
The maximum gusts that we're seeing over in Fort Lauderdale are 190 miles per hour.
Wow.
190? Sweet. I've always wanted to go out in 190-degree weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Like the surface of the sun?
Yeah, exactly.
Nuts.
190-degree.
Yeah.
That sounds like Vietnam. That's what my grandpa. I think he said.
If so, it sounds implausible. You got to realize when you wear body armor, that
Oh, yeah.
shit bumps you up by 20 degrees
Oh,
by
yeah.
itself.
Said when the plane landed.
So that's why I'm always glad that hurricanes are cold and not hot. So just
Right.
imagine, yeah, it's nice. It's a little cold, it's a little chilly. You might get hypothermia, but at least you're not boiling your biscuits.
Exactly.
So I'm not really worried about it. Although I did see, using the Waffle House index, that there is some closings of Waffle Houses. If you are near a Waffle House and you haven't abandoned your house, they never close. I do not know a Waffle House to close for any major catastrophe, ever.
You know why, right?
Because somebody's got a high pharmaceutical grade meth and there's the best place to meet people.
Waffle House I think, is the second or the third largest like natural disaster relief and responder in the United States.
Wow.
Wait a second, go on.
Yeah, Waffle House, part of their whole "we don't close" policy is they're like up there with FEMA when it comes to natural disasters. They have Waffle House, essentially Waffle House like emergency like restaurants that they will put out, and they'll divvy out water and food, and yeah.
That sounds like highly trained, specialized organization. How do I sign up? How do I become a member of this jump team for
You
Waffle House?
you just go and show up. I'm gonna look up the deets on this because I'm shocked that you didn't know this. I actually thought I heard it from you, but yeah, the Waffle House Index is an actual thing, and if they close down, then you're fucked. You get the hell out of Dodge, buddy.
I'm just glad that
Let's
here in
see.
America, we have a corporation that willingly matches FEMA. I wonder if they're also going to
This is
require
a-
our COVID-19 vaccines in order to get waffles.
If that doesn't happen this year, it'll happen next year. I believe you. Absolutely. Yeah. The Waffle House Index is an informal metric named after the Waffle House restaurant chain to determine the effect of a storm and the likely scale of assistance required for disaster recovery. It was coined by the former administrator Craig Futgate of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, bro. The metric is unofficial, but it is used by FEMA to inform disaster response.
The Waffle House Index.
Good old American Waffle House.
That's something to
Known
inspire
for
to,
meth
right?
and white trash.
Just imagine. I imagine going for a number 2, getting the hash browns. I like to double grill the hash because they only bake one. What is with diners and hash browns and they only bake one side and then they leave the other side into this potato mush?
Because they know there are these badass Americans out at the table complaining about how fucking long it takes to make hash browns.
Hash browns are a time-honored tradition, and it's a personal attack on my dignity and taste buds to give me anything less than crispy hash browns.
Now, a good restaurant would just
They're
flip them over so that you don't see the uncooked portion of it.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. You can flip it and think that you're getting away with it, but my taste buds don't lie. If the top feels like a nice outer lacing of someone laying down crispy snow and just making sure they salt it around it so you only get the crunch when you walk in a specific pattern, wonderful. But when you go under and it's all just slush, disgusting.
Are you adding condiments to these hash browns, or are
Of
these
course
just
he
plain
is.
Jane?
Yes. No, yes. Yes. I'm going to answer that for you. Yeah. Ask us how much fucking
Good.
ketchup we
And
go
he
through.
should. That is a true American.
Listen
Well-
here, I will never
well,
have
Talon, my
bone
man, I think that's
cancer
why they're only cooking
with the
one
amount of
side.
lysine I suck.
Oh. What do you suck?
Good. Leave that
Lysine.
side uncooked. You can get the ketchup in there.
No, if I want mashed potatoes, I'll ask you for mashed potatoes.
You'll take potatoes for breakfast.
I would take mashed potatoes for breakfast, but they gotta be garlic.
Garlic mash.
Garlic mashed.
Okay.
That way, it just maximally impacts every little kiss that you get.
Ew, gross.
So you're saying when you ask for something, you want that thing. So if you were to ask for like an all beef frank and I gave you chicken, that would annoy you.
It would shatter my taste portfolio and expectations. Give me an irrecoverable psychic wound that would gnaw at me for months after the fact and bring it up in snide passing. That is how damaging it would be.
I really hope that you like bring this up at a family Thanksgiving or something. Like this
We'll bring
turkey
it
is so
up.
much better than what I had on 4th of July, that it just eats you alive.
I am a man that is petty for very few things, but Bubba Burgers and Chicken Franks apparently are two of them. Bubba Burgers are nature's way of saying that you're willing to go almost to the absolute scraping bottom of the barrel.
You are so bougie because Bubba Burgers are considered delicacy.
You know, whoever these people are, your taste buds are shit.
I used to eat Bubba Burgers.
Yeah, your taste buds are shit.
Eat my food though.
To be fair, I would
Those
eat your
white
food
people.
and say it's delicious.
No, you wouldn't.
You're
No, you wouldn't. What you do is when you don't like my food, you eat a little bit of it and then you go run to the kitchen and throw it down the garbage disposal and go, "That was good." That's what you do. I'm seeing you do it.
Good is not
And
good.
it's only one meal that I know you don't really fuck with.
What's that?
The spaghetti, egg, and soy sauce.
You know,
You like it, but you don't like it.
I like it in the way that it's a nice salty blow in my mouth,
Mm-hmm.
but I've got to be dehydrated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hard because you.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I keep hydrated. So hydrated that I'm basically a living sprinkler. I'm starting to get good. I'm getting cursive on the toilet seat now.
Yeah. Talk about it.
Speaking of
What
hurricanes,
in the hell is that?
say again.
Cursive on the toilets.
If you're gonna piss on the toilet seat, don't just piss on the toilet seat. Write your name in cursive. Make an impression. Go with the flow.
I like that very much so.
So today's second topic, Hurricane Ian, we'll pop into because it's kind of one of the reasons that we're all piping through our various radio backpacks and praying that the internet service provider gods don't slap us down before we talk about anything more froggy.
Mm-hmm.
I was reminded. Do you remember? Okay, what was your experience when you hit 18? This is the American culture. I want to get down to the nitty-gritty of how we are here in the third economic crisis of my lifetime, at least, where the stock market crashed. What was it? Last Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they had been hinting on it. It's been a slow bleed almost all year, but the big boys are drowning. And this reminds me, how did you leave at 18 years old? Or what was your experience?
So I was not prepped at all for SAT, college, for anything like that. But I've always had a job. I was 14. So it was just my dad saying, gonna do. And like, I don't know. He was like, well, you're gonna have to go to college or get a job.
Go to college or get a job.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't even know how to get into college. So I just rushed to the counselor's office. And by then they were like, it's just too late. So
It's too late.
So I was like, okay, what can I do? So I, luckily my nephew's mom, she was related to someone who worked in administration at a state college that had a really good nursing program. So yeah, that's what I did. I had to take a few tests and I went to a summer school, even though that's not what I really wanted to do.
But you were pressured into it.
I was pressured into it.
You were pressured into it because it was expected of you to provide yourself with a better lifestyle than the one that they became accustomed to.
Exactly.
You were going to be the signature child, right?
Right.
You were the star. You were the chosen one.
Yeah. So I just, after a while, I wasn't feeling it. I was not passing any classes, and my mom had already dipped out. It's so funny because when my mom moved to Florida right after high school, and she was just like, peace. Like, I was like, damn.
You got the Jeffrey Dahmer experience.
Yeah, she was just like, peace. I don't know what you're going to do, but I'm going to Florida. I was like, okay. So I wound up having to stay with my brother's baby mother, my nephew's mom.
Yeah.
And until I had to figure that shit out. So I had jobs, and like I said, I was failing school.
And you were also having to pay the bills from...
Well, not yet because of student loans.
Yeah,
I took out a shit ton of student loans.
Yeah.
I went shopping. I blew a bag. Yep, went shopping. Took my boyfriend out to eat and everything. And then someone's like, you got to pay that shit back, right? I'm like, I'm young. And then eventually I moved to Florida. I just like kind of bribed my mom. I was like, listen, I'll go to work. I'll pay you rent, blah, 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 blah. Because you ain't living with my mom for free. You gonna pay some motherfucking rent.
You're going to pay today.
You gonna pay some motherfucking rent. So yeah.
You pay the rent.
Yeah.
You parent.
Parents, yeah.
Parent, yeah, that's exactly in their fucking English dictionary now.
Yeah, so that was my experience. It was pretty much like grow the fuck up. But I will say this. I am grateful that like when I was 14, my dad took me to go get a worker's permit. So I already had like the work ethic in me. Like even like weekdays and weekends, like there was no laying around fucking watching TV. Like we still had to do chores if chores weren't done.
So they made sure to get free labor out of you as much as possible. They exploited you like a small finger aching.
Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with that. I think you should, if you can work, and my dad never took the money from me. He wasn't like, oh, you have to pay rent. He was just like, I want you
have to pay for the privilege of staying here.
No, he never took anything out of my paycheck. He wanted me to save it, is what he wanted me to do. He was like, you save it so that you can buy your car.
But as long as you were working, he gave you a place.
This was when I was 14.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about 18.
18, I was gone. I didn't live with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, you were not welcome, were you?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I was, but my dad was very strict. I didn't want to live with my dad.
Right, you wanted your own freedoms and expressions.
I did, and I thought I could have that living with my brother's baby mother, but she was more of like a mom, dad, and trying to control me. So then I wound up moving with my other brother's baby mom, who was way more lenient. She was just like, listen, she was like, if you want to pay a cable bill, that's fine. She was like, but just watch Cassidy, which is my niece, whenever I want to go out. Cool, that's fine. Because I was a house mouse anyway. I didn't really I wasn't into going out and shit like that. But I also,
what a surprise.
Yeah, but I also just didn't want the pressure of like I don't know. It was just different living with my mom and dad. So, and she was very like, outgoing, and she did makeup, and she used to dress me up and stuff like that. But if I did want to go out, it wasn't a problem. I didn't have to be fucking searched and questioned and shit like that. She'd just be like, okay, just be careful, let me know, when you get to whatever. That was it. Yeah, it was a really good time. So I got a little bit of that, and then I dipped out. I was like, bye, going to Florida to live my life.
Fuck them bills and fuck them kids.
Yeah.
What about you? What was your experience?
Did I hear you correctly? That you went to nursing school?
I started off going to nursing school. Yeah, I thought I wanted to be a fucking nurse. And then when I came to Florida,
you practiced very potent alchemy.
Oh, the behavior therapy?
I was gonna say, how did nursing school with like modern medicine transition to healing people with rocks?
So I don't heal people with rocks.
Hey, listen to this one constantly just shit talking on things.
So the nursing thing, it wasn't even something I was really interested in. It was just what everybody else was doing. So, like I really wasn't even feeling it. And I had to take a shit ton of prerequisites because I mean, the only thing I scored right on my SATs was writing my name down. I think I only got points for that. But everything else, like I literally walked into that bitch. They were like, it was so quiet in there. You all the nerds are like taking their time and shit like that. I went in that bitch. I wrote my name down. I was like A B B A C C C B B B. Nothing. I was done in like 30 minutes. And I remember the teacher looked at me. She was like, "You're done?" I was like, "Yep."
At that point, you were what? You checked out. There's no point in playing the game.
And I was never. I was a daydreamer. I really liked daydreaming, and there was nothing about school that interested me except child development. Child development was cool. So when I came to Florida, I got into early childhood development at school. But then I didn't really like that. And then that's when I got into psychology because I like how the mind works. I like how the brain works. And then I got into the herbalism and the holistic stuff through when I was a behavior therapist, working with a lot of families who were hippies and doing a lot of experimental things. And I always just enjoyed learning like how the kids like to learn, how each kid was individual in their learning. So then I was like, all right, I'm gonna study the brain. And then I got into behavior analysis. I was like, okay, I like how humans operate. Like behavior is very, very predictable and very controlled. So then I just went with that. And then eventually I got bored with that. And then I went the holistic practitioner route because I was more interested in like what heals the body through food, not the use of, over-the-counter drugs. And
you have an Instagram you'd like to plug?
Sure. Yogi Bear Holistic Health. I'm shadow banned, so it might take a while to find me. Just keep looking.
And you're shadow banned because the pharmaceutical agent cannot or any competition for their chemical patents.
I got shadow banned around the time COVID hit, and I was telling everybody to take their elderberry, what herbs to take. And eventually I think I went to jail for a little, not like actual prison, but like social media prison. They were like, you can't talk about this.
Same thing.
It's false
Dr.
information.
Fauci said that hydrochloroquine was the greatest thing that ever invented, and suddenly COVID-19 specifically to Pfizer, Moderna, or Johnson & Johnson.
Right.
But now that he's out of it, they once again put ivermectin and hydrochloroquine back on the CDC website. It's just a shell game.
Exactly.
Whoever gets the most profit and whoever can make money. If you look at who's making money, that's who's pulling the strings.
Mm-hmm.
Who's making the money?
Exactly.
Who's getting the profit?
And the last thing they want is for people to have the power.
Well, if people had the power, they would have choices.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like communication. Now you can only communicate in ways through proof.
Mm-hmm.
If you step outside of this way, say, for example, if you take purple pitcher plant, you don't have to worry about monkeypox.
Right.
If you say that instead of you better go and take XYZ brand pharmaceutical, genus. If you don't take that dick, you're going to get slapped, What? There's still a travel ban. They instituted while everybody was watching, while saying with medical aristocracy that we live now in segmented, gated communities, no longer allowed freedom of travel. And this
Wow.
happened in our lifetime while we were watching. Still haven't given that control back, have they? I've heard COVID's over.
Depends on where you go.
And with the hurricane, FEMA relief, I hope they're not going to pull it. They had to have a COVID vaccine to get treatment. Ooh, yeah. So looking at the hurricane, again, it looks like the tropical storm warning is bumping everywhere.
It
How big do you
has
think this is gonna get?
there are cars up to their windows. This is absolutely nuts.
Wow, and the eye is huge, which that control massive tornado.
Remember when I said this was going to be at least 9 feet?
Oh, so now we do have a.
Mm-hmm. They're upgrading everything. It's gonna get real wild here in Florida. This is why we're talking through our radios today, from distances far, far away, in order to keep communication. But today, I really want to talk about be me. I've always been someone who loves video games, and I wanted to make video games as my first thing, but in order to, once I hit 18, my ass had to be working, period. And I had to pay rent, period. If I was going to be in the house, I had to live under a certain set of rules that were incredibly strict and anal retentive, and were by a doddering old tyrant.
And that sucks, being, just having to grow from being a child to an adult overnight. Like, yeah, I'm 18, but what have you helped me do to all of a sudden become an adult? You know what I mean? Like, if
They removed shop classes, they removed the workshops, they removed
Right.
home economics, they removed balancing checkbooks. None of this is being taught.
Right.
What's being taught is work, get a place of your own, pay for that place. Except, and this is the wild thing, you can't work one job and pay for an apartment anywhere
No.
in America.
Well, back in the day, you could.
Well, we're talking about their perception of reality. When they were a teenager, they could get a job that would pay the equivalent of $17 an hour, afford a house that was the equivalent of $60,000, and afford a vehicle, all on one person's paycheck, and have a family.
Yeah. Not anymore.
And it's gone from that to, I hope you have $120,000 to learn video game programming at Full Sail University. I really do. I really do. I hope you love it. I hope you love it.
Right.
And I was smooth brain. I came down here and I failed, I couldn't work anymore. I had like this, I was working at a package and shipping company where I was doing copying, pasting, cleanup, janitorial service, mailbox, package, shipping, location, insurance, you know what I'm saying? Just more and more things for the same pay. And I remember when my grandmother passed, I was like, what the fuck am I doing living like my parents would? Where I was just near where my parents were as a fallback when I fuck up. And I also realized that, I was never going to be at community college. Nobody could teach me anything I couldn't learn on the internet at that point. I needed a degree and I needed networking. So for me, it was to go to the video game school. It was to go and learn how to program. And I didn't blow a fat wad on my friends. I fucking knuckled down, and my smooth brain, wrinkle-free ass.
Oh, I didn't say I blew a bag on my friends. I said I took my boyfriend out.
Oh, well, that's your friend.
No, he was my boyfriend.
No, he ain't no boyfriend.
We had lots of sex, too.
No. Be gone, heathen! Be gone!
We had lots of sex.
With your foul ways!
I still remember where I took him too.
Yeah.
The melting pot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you dip his dick in cheese?
He dipped it in my cheese.
Oh Jesus, Christopher,
Oh,
Mary, and
that's
Joseph.
fucking gross, dude.
Right?
If you got cheese, you need to hop back in the shower. Dude.
There's a cheese
Good
dick out
Lord.
there.
He dipped it in my cheese.
Ah.
Oh yeah, I still remember.
All
I
of
bought
your
myself.
genetics.
I vividly remember. I bought myself a pair of Ed Hardy shoes and an Ed Hardy hat to match it because Ed Hardy was the shit back then.
Tell me about this Ed Hardy.
Oh man, I just
Ed
remember
Hardy
they.
was never the shit ever.
Well, if you lived in Florida, it wasn't. But anyway, so it looked like Have you ever seen Vans? Like,
Yes.
the ones that don't tie.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
You
about.
could slip those in. Yeah. So it had the big. It had like a tiger on it, and it had the Ed Hardy on there. I think I bought a shirt, the hat, and the shoes.
I wonder how many unpaid Chinese fingers worked on each individual shoe.
I know.
It really, if anything, that taught me branding is the only power America has.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I definitely went through my phase of I need to have. Oh, I
Tommy
was
Hilfiger.
Nope, not Tommy Hilfiger. It was 7 jeans, Citizen jeans, True Religion jeans, Juicy Couture. That was my
Juicy.
fucking favorite. Oh my goodness. I still remember I made my boyfriend buy this $400 leather Juicy Couture bag. Not made, but it was something that I wanted. I needed that bag so bad. And
You
now,
hear that? You hear how these psychological, manipulative,
Yeah.
highly controlling, demanding types are?
But I was very, very insecure.
Because you had to wear it.
Yeah, I had to wear it in
It
order
was
to
a
feel
symbol.
Absolutely. I'm
You know-
like, yeah, I'm juicied out. I got on True Religion jeans. These are $100 jeans. Fucking, I don't even give a shit
You know,
about
that's
that.
that's how they get you.
Hell yeah.
That's really how they get you.
Mhm.
Say, for me, it was Wrangler jean.
Yeah, Wranglers are popular now.
Really?
Yes.
Wranglers have never not been popular.
Like very popular now. Even like Champion. You remember Champion?
I do
You
remember
could buy that
Champion.
in Walmart back in the day.
Yeah, you could.
Now that shit is like a fucking Champion sweatshirt, $50-$60.
But you know why? It's because they started from Walmart.
Yes.
They got their wide
But it also
distribution.
depends on who promotes it. If you see if a celebrity starts wearing it, then it pops off, and then it's all of a sudden.
But then we're going back to branding.
Yep.
So branding
It's
is
a fucking cult.
the branding is the one lesson I wish these boomer motherfuckers taught.
Yeah.
Well, if anything they didn't teach you, they taught you a lot about networking. You know, the value of knowing a person is
Yeah.
better than actually being skilled at any job, period. Doesn't matter how.
Hence how I got into the college.
Yeah. Hence how I went and did many things after the military. Yeah. Exactly. But it's only who you know. It's
Right.
only who you know, and it's not what you do. What you do defines you, but who
And
you
also
know
who
gives
you screw.
access. Now, when we talk about screwing, that's where political families really rise and fall. You know?
Yeah.
And this is a hell of a political family, let me tell you. We're going to just topple nations before the end of it.
You better get even busier. I'm well on my way with my militia.
Oh, I heard. So when are we going to start room clearing drills with your children? I'm
Oh my
ready, and I
gosh.
have a book ready to go where we can just teach them how, you know, they're knee high, so it's perfect. We'll get them some Nerf guns. We'll dress up in like Halloween costumes. I've got the perfect, horrifying outfit to scar them mentally for the rest of their lives.
This is terrible.
What do you mean terrible?
This is
We're
not
teaching them how to
terrible.
react
My
in
daughter-
fearful situations with initiative.
Okay.
It's much better
Yeah,
than
my-
freezing up.
That's true.
I mean, think about that. We were watching
But why are we prepping for room clearing? Are we what are we getting ready for a fucking revolution or some shit?
I always expect
What
that we're
happens
1 minute
when you
away
run out
from
of
somebody
food?
kicking in the door.
What happens when you run out of food?
Yeah. What happens
Yeah,
when
you gotta go
Those-
to your neighbor's house. Go to your neighbor's house and clear it out.
shit hits the fan, right? It's all about shit hit the fan. SHTF. So this is the.
I'm
that's
glad I don't live in the Matrix.
But you do.
Well, I'm
Your
glad
body
I don't.
car lives in the.
I'm
Matrix.
glad that I don't pay attention to the Matrix.
Yeah, the Matrix is a fun place, but I feel like the real value of knowledge is understanding the principle of the primal existence that we live in. A lot of what we play in is false masks of civilization. The boomers were great at this because they didn't have any major conflicts. They have the Vietnam War, which most of them got drafted to. By the way, can't wait for them to institute the draft for these Zooms. It's going to be wonderful seeing our youngest Instagram generation have to go to war.
Really think that's gonna happen?
I really do believe that's going to happen.
Okay.
In our lifetime.
Better pray that doesn't happen. That'll be the quickest war ever. Pussies can't defend themselves.
Well, what they're going to do is they're going to Instagram or TikTok themselves.
Everything will be TikTok.
Right? And China will know exactly where you are.
They're gonna set up the TikTok.
Operation Security. OPSEC's impossible. Fucking possible. Do you know how terrifying it was being in the middle of the fucking desert and having one asshole running around with a Fitbit?
I took over 1,000 steps today.
Boom. That was your last 10,000.
That's they'll get the DFAC, they'll get anything.
Wow.
Indirect fire. Yeah. All they had to use was a GPS map.
Wow. Wow.
This is why when you ask me why am I talking like this, it's because it's good knowledge to have.
Yeah.
It's solid education, it's defense, and then when you're caught off guard, you have a plan.
Right.
That's why you're a warlock, not a wizard. Fuck reading books. Books are for nerds.
Well, I guess I'm a nerd.
Yeah, so am I, but I don't go around admitting it in public.
You don't have to.
Yeah?
You wear it on your head.
Do I?
Yeah.
As a crown?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I can hear the smile on your face. As you're looking at Talon. I can see my head. I can hear it in your voice. Oh, you don't have to.
I hear a lot of envy. I really want you to reignite your Breakfast Club idea.
It's been a
Breakfast
hot
Club?
minute for me.
So, a lot of this envious voice that you hear recorded for everybody's pleasure is that Mayo had a project himself, a podcast, before
Yeah?
we even had a podcast together.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was with him and his wife talking about, what was it?
Oh, it was a little project we called Bedtime Conversations. We played games and took like relationship tests and talked back and forth like we normally do in bed. But that's normally what we do when we hit the sack. Is about an hour. We just kind of go back and forth, and we're like, man, we have really good banter. We should do something with this.
You
So
should
we
totally
produced
do it.
and put on a yeah. And she ended up dipping out on me. So here I am with y'all.
Have you ever figured that a lot of it is just stage? I mean,
As
public
in-
speaking, just talking about having an opinion. Having an opinion means that you're opening yourself up for others to be snide little bitches. And they're always going to be that way. Just listen to
Oh, of course.
literally go down any hallway with more than one woman who's wearing the same dress.
Why'd you look at me?
You already know.
And what do you mean?
You are a fashion extraordinaire.
And what does that mean?
You specifically avoid anything that anybody else wears.
This is true.
This is true. You make sure that you are always cutting your own fabric. You do that. You specifically accessorize so that never happens. What I'm saying is you want to see something shit happen, hit the fan and live, have two women dressed the same way
Oh my gosh, that's the worst.
and be in close proximity.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Bitch stole my look.
Oh.
There's
that's-
even a
I
show.
think
I
that's impossible
think
to
there's
do.
a hashtag for that.
Bitch stole my look.
Bitch stole my look. Yeah, and they rate who wore it better.
That would be a show I would watch almost as much as Love on the Spectrum.
Okay.
That needs to come back with many more episodes.
Love on the spectrum.
So yeah, I end up in 6 figures of debt, which was my experience, was that even after taking the debt, the lesson I should have learned was it was more important for me to network than it was to just get the education. Nobody gave a fuck that I knew things. They gave a fuck that I knew things and I was able to talk to people, not like a spurg. You know?
Yeah.
And that's really the trick. Behavioral psychology, your area of expertise.
Yes.
I love communication. So for me, communicating between many different intellects was important because I worked in headquarters battalion situation where I was dealing with brass that had the mental intellect that was incredible. You know, they were high and smart people. And then there was the dumbest motherfuckers that you could ever possibly imagine. You still had to respect their rank.
Yeah.
But them as a human being, you wondered how they ever would breed again. Yet somehow have a large family and a sizable bank account. Doesn't matter. It's just who.
Right. And I've always just enjoyed being quiet and watching people. I like understanding like how people like what their function of behavior is, like why they do what they do. So just sitting back and just watching people, watching their body language, what it means. Yeah. I almost went into the criminal behavior analysis. Like I'm obsessed with serial killers.
You are. In
Yeah.
fact, it's one of the things that all of my friends seem to have in common.
Love serial killers, but I enjoy like the, you know, just I like to know like how they grow up. You know, who were their friends, you know what I mean? Like what were
was
the
their first
environmental
time?
yeah, and what were the environmental triggers that contributed to their, you know, their behaviors.
Like Jeffrey Dahmer, when we were watching it, I've
Mm-hmm.
made some observations that the disconnect between him and his mother, just one exchange, it was, I think the second or third episode was Dahmer's mother was leaving with his younger brother.
Right. She basically chose him over Dahmer.
And Dahmer was 17, almost 18,
Right.
and his dad had left because he couldn't handle the fact that his mom was leaving.
Right.
So he figured everything was well until they got divorced, and mom was packing up the car. But the exchange that I remember the most, and what really just made me hate, like, into the heart of my core, watching a lot of my, just, it hit a little too close to home, right?
Yeah.
Just watching and hearing them say, when they were talking about dissecting the animals, which I thought was pretty Dahmerish, you know, when she started going to the guts and smiling.
Yeah, once you start smiling. But no, I mean, you could still do that and enjoy it. I just think he just didn't have the, you know, the right outlets. And I think, like, if his mom had showed more love, like, I think
her being an emotionalist bitch kind of attributed to him. What was it? She had, I believe the term was,
I think she had postpartum depression.
Postpartum depression.
But she was like that before she got pregnant.
No, she was there when she got pregnant.
Right, when she was pregnant, but like, you're not just gonna get. She was like that.
She didn't eat the placenta.
No, she didn't eat the placenta.
And she
but
probably
also a lot
had
of
C-section.
But a lot of people didn't do that back then, not unless you lived in the fucking backwoods. You know what I mean? Like,
but having that might have been the rise of the C-section and Zoloft time.
I don't think she had a C-section back then. Twilight births were very popular, where they basically knock the mom out and then they pull the babies out with like forceps. That's what happened to my mom. My mom was a Twilight baby. So my Nana was knocked out. And then they also, back then, they would encourage the moms to not coddle the babies. Like when babies cried, no, put them down. You're going to make them spoiled. Like that was very popular back then.
Isn't this the same? That sounds psychotic.
It does sound psychotic.
That sounds
because
psychotic.
The child learns to be a fucking sociopath. Like it doesn't learn how to empathize or possess like mind
Touch
theory.
is so fucking
very important. Like the baby should be sleeping. Like, you know, I know when our baby comes, like the baby's gonna be with me in the bed. Like,
oh, with Yell? No, it's gonna be with me. I don't know if you got some wrong ideas. I've got the fuzzy chest. You've got the soft chest.
I got the big titties. Okay.
Yeah, okay, but
I got the milk.
You've got breakfast. I
got breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner.
Ah, damn.
And that's all they really wanted that age.
Well, that won't suck.
Well, luckily they're two.
Yogi
One for you.
and Talon, have you ever met a killer or a murderer before?
Yeah.
Me.
And where is that person now?
In the military.
Oh no, I mean like someone who was busted or caught.
See, now therein lies where you have to start getting niggling. But what what people fail to realize when you sign for an armed forces, you're signing up to be a state-sponsored, governmental mercenary who has a license to murder. That is what it is.
I have. They weren't military, but they've gone to prison.
So they got caught.
Murder isn't murder if you do it for your country.
Yeah, no, these people didn't do it for their
Then it's just happy fun time shooting at brown people.
Who says that they were brown?
Obviously, I'm being sarcastic.
I despise the state of the reality where you can't even commit to your joke without pussying out of it immediately. Just grow a pair of balls and say a thing and then let people get angry at you about it, because they're going to get mad no matter what. You already expressed Daniel Tosh's opinion about what was it, that quote that you love quoting?
Nothing to do with them. Nothing to do with them. It has to do with you, buddy. I don't want you to get the band hammer and get a phone call from my bunker all bitchy going, hey,
And
you said this or that.
No, it doesn't. See, now therein lies where I want to be very clear while we're on this just once. I've already put my physical flesh on the line for the capability of freedom of speech, the American Amendment. This concept of, I love it too. This concept of freedom from not consequence. No, because that's an actual fucking threat. That is threatening somebody that you're going to punish them if they say a thing that you don't agree with. Here's the thing about that. Threats get checked. No matter how you want to say it, at some point, threats always get checked. There's always a line, a limit, a thing where there's no more territory to give. And we've entered that point, ironically, in this generational warfare that we have, this modern day world war in which we're warring for people's minds so much that millions are getting paid for in places like Langley Air Force Base and the Chinese and Mossad. We all have different agencies that are working with misinformation and disinformation campaigns to control information that's released. This is a fact. This isn't under question. This is in the fucking budget that people put in there. And it gets to a point where you've got to let This is an exception. We're veterans. At what point are you going to listen to the guys who played the gambling machine? If you start cutting those voices out, what are you saying? You know, there's always a fucking limit. This is the line, man. Gods and prophets is the line, because what we're talking about is the sin and symbolism. It's not about the tribes, because any tribe, any member of a tribe can use the sin of symbolism. They can use the occult methodology. They can hijack and use the programming language of this particular system to input to get the results and profits that they're desiring. This is just fact. You can deny it and you can tiptoe in your language, but even then, that's psychological abuse. You've been abused to the point where you have to consider your own words every moment before you say them, which is as 1984, a brave new world as I can fucking imagine. Bro, say a joke, and if you get canceled, I'm just going to give you a noogie.
Christ, that was all about the joke that I took back? I lost you like 3 minutes ago.
I know. I almost forgot what the fuck we were talking about. It's the stellium in his first house.
Why you were talking about? It's like, oh shit. Okay, don't take back my jokes.
It's the stellium in his first house.
Is that?
Yeah.
My gosh.
Is it not just being the greatest motor mouth?
Are going to give you some of the biggest, oh man, because they're young and their attention spans are about as long as my dick. So it's when you start going, hey, let me explain this to you. It's going to be yawns and dad, can I please go play? Daddy, can I please go play?
Daughter.
I will get that aristocratic, high-born accent in my children. For sure. Daddy, This peasant has the audacity to criticize my vernacular.
Does it quit mouthing off to me like that? You're 3. I just want to go play tennis. So my murder story is I had a girlfriend. She wasn't my girlfriend. Girlfriend who was a girl who had a friend that she would hang out with. His name was Andrew Allred, and I didn't like him because they spent a lot of time together. And she swore that he was such a good guy. Well,
Now,
years later, I think it was in
question. Hold on. I
2007,
really.
he ended up a double murder.
He was such a good guy. What were some of the. Like, the only time I ever fucking hear a girl say he's such a great guy or a good guy is when he is a hyper aggressive, ready to fight at any moment motherfucker.
Like you. You're a great guy.
Yeah, actually,
See? That's what I'm talking
really,
about.
Good observation. It's a great observation.
Bad bitches love bad boys.
Not only did he want to fight all the time, but he ended up wanting to shoot too. He's on death row now. He's gonna
Good
get
God.
Now,
electrocuted.
I always found people who jumped up to that sort of escalation to be the biggest pussies. You're telling me you can't take a ham sandwich, some knuckle dusters, then give me some hands? I don't know. Like,
Maybe he was tired of using his fucking hands.
how many times does he have to put the lesson down? Wasn't that why we were when we were watching Black Phone? You were saying sometimes blood is the message.
Yeah.
I mean, great fucking movie, by the way. Side
Great
note.
movie.
Black Phone is tops. They're really
Seen it,
targeting
sucked.
these gay children. The children with potential outside of what we understand.
The Neptune babies.
They're really targeting Neptune now. Have you noticed this, Mayo, in your commercials for kids?
More so movies, like Disney
About what
movies.
targeting?
Yeah, the targeting towards kids with powers or abilities that adults don't understand.
Yes, I absolutely have. It's in commercials and also in these stupid YouTube shows. Never let your kid watch YouTube Kids. It is
He is
garbage.
so sick. You are so sick of your children watching YouTube shows, the way you said that.
Oh, I cut that shit out about 2 years ago. Oh yeah.
I want you to speak your
My
truth, and then I also have a story about my little brother on that.
Well, my truth about YouTube,
Yeah,
it's just
what
a
a-
garbage platform. They crank money. They crank and spit out money to these parents and these families that hire like a videographer who does all their editing. They live in these giant mansions because they get millions of views. There are toys littered everywhere. It has terrible production value in terms of like their CGI, and they just crank video every single day of their kids being forced to act and pretend that these brand new toys that they're given to them by a fucking sponsor are just the best thing ever, and make your kids turn around and not only not realize that they can't play with their parents every single moment of the day, but that they also can't ask for every single little thing they have on TV, because if, hey daddy, you don't get that from me, you don't love me. Little Ava, Natalie, whatever, her daddy got her a fucking skate park.
So once
And
again, this
they
goes
have their
right
own
back to
private-
boomers. It really does. They're sucking
sorry,
every
that
bit of
just really
value.
gets me.
I remember Toys R Us commercials, and Toys R Us commercials would come out and say, "What? I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid."
Right. But I also remember, like, the only time you could even ask for anything was around Christmas.
Yeah,
And then that depended on your fucking behavior.
and it really.
And you were told immediately, can I have this? Nope, you were bad this year.
I got great.
Here's some
Well,
fucking
in that
old.
circumstance, you would never get a fucking present. Let's just say.
First of all, I was a great kid. Now,
Was.
I was a great kid. I was not the kid who
Was.
snuck out never talked back. My dad had a hand, and I saw how he laid it upon the older children.
Which is something I believe discipline and
Yes.
this anti-discipline
Like I told you
campaign
before.
has raised a whole bunch of really narcissistic psychotics.
Like I told you before. Remember I told you about the time we didn't clean the kitchen? My dad, he woke us up 2:00 in the fucking morning, and we had to fucking clean that kitchen. Me and all of my sisters. He did not play that. You don't leave the house dirty. You don't fucking go to bed dirty. Like, none of that. Wash your ass before you get in the bed. All that. When the leaves fall, you fucking rake them shits. I don't care if you're a girl. Put some fucking boots on. Right.
Ain't nothing more boring than raking leaves, especially.
But it was fun, though. You
the
make a big
grass.
pile, and then you can jump in that shit. You just get all itchy.
It must have been nice to have a lawn that didn't have big fucking rocks. Must have been great.
No, we didn't have rocks.
We have where I lived
Yeah.
when I was living with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
The cult? When you were living on the Jim Jones farm?
They had these white sands, all right? They had the white sands.
The Stones were there from stoning all the women.
Because they weren't treating their man right. Barefoot and pregnant. Where's my bacon cheeseburger?
Oh, man, that's terrible. I'm so happy.
You know, the thing about religion is that it gives structure to the people so that they can have human interaction with each other.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it limits you. Well, all religion does is limit your natural being.
Religion is nothing more or less
Don't
than
have sex. Give me your soul.
A
Drink
collection
my blood.
of wisdom.
Drink
and
my blood and
stories.
eat this cracker.
Yeah.
It's my body. No.
What's
A bunch of
what's the blood? Where's
stories
the blood?
about
Where's it
what
coming
was and what is.
Wait, what did you say, Mark?
from? I said, where is this blood? Where's it coming from?
You know, communion. They take the wine. It's supposed
Oh, I thought you meant from you. My bad.
No, they didn't. They
No.
only do that when they circumcise you as a small child, sucking it right out of your dick.
Oh, sorry, I don't have a penis. I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, well, if it was a different
that's-
type
that's
of
a
culture,
legitimate-
we'd get some female circumcision too. Sadly, equal rights or it's not equal lefts here in America. Oh, I know it's
Talon, I'm
it's
gonna
disgusting.
be vague,
What?
but did you watch that video I sent you?
No.
About the time machine?
No.
No? Oh shucks. That was the
Your
only reason I
sense
said
of
it. That's
humor,
the only
you
person I
like
sent that.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and that bitch capitulated and already bent the knee. I have no desire to watch your type of humor. I've tried it. But then again, you play the same video game over and
was
over again.
made for you.
No. My
How
humor,
do you know if
my
you didn't watch
humor,
it? The video was literally made for you.
We need to watch the video.
my humor is more of like
Yes.
We like crude humor,
very
like
much
people getting
so.
hit by cars.
Right.
You know. Why am I laughing?
Because it's hilarious. I like that. What was it? I was
People
proud
get-
of that. I was proud of that recent movie that we watched because it punched a kid.
Oh yeah. Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah, it's punched a kid. I was like proud of you. I had a great laugh.
That kid deserved it. They were being assholes.
They were being assholes.
That's funny.
Well, I'm really sad that you didn't take time to watch it. And since you don't tell me not to censor myself, essentially they make a time machine, they go back and kill baby Hitler, and then are really disappointed because there's a ton of Jews now.
No, they were disappointed at how easy it was to kill a child.
Oh shit.
Well, no, it was actually very easy. You'd
I
be
wanna
amazed
see
at how
that.
easy it is to kill an infant, he says.
I'm not playing
That's
their
what I'm-
humor.
If it wouldn't have been Hitler, it would have been someone else.
No, it's always Hitler. Hitler is the great boogeyman of history.
I don't know much
Genghis
about it.
Khan was
But do you
before
kill
him.
Hitler? Do you kill Hitler as an adult or as a baby?
No,
As
I
a
don't.
baby.
I would rather go back to I would never use a time machine to try to fuck with history. I would want to use a time machine to go back to when when the fucking pyramids were pumping energy through them and floating. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
we get some superpowers.
Right,
I go back just to get the powers and then come back here.
I
and
go
be
back
like,
to
all powered up.
right, yeah. I go back to meet the redheaded giants and have a conversation with them while they try to eat me. You know what I'm saying? I go back to Atlantis to see where Atlantis actually was. I go back to the old fucking ships that used to go into Antarctica to go at the certain angle to go into the center of the circle that you're not allowed to see on any fucking camera anymore.
I'd want to go back to Constantine, that the out specific Bible books.
I want to see the Library of Alexandria.
Yeah, I want to see when the
guys are
first
super
medical
deep about
encyclopedia was written.
I want to see where the Tower of Babel was and what it looked like, and if they had a good pizza back then.
I want to see what the fuck happened with Jesus after he was born up until the time this motherfucker was crucified. How many bitches did he have? Honestly.
I want to see how many
I got
dicks.
one. I want to come twice.
What?
I don't get it.
What?
I'm gonna use my time travel to come twice. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna go back in time. I'm gonna come again.
That's hilarious.
You would ever have a child is a depressing thought that lingers with me.
He just needs a remote where he can.
Like that Goosebumps episode we were watching.
Yeah. Speaking of Goosebumps, man, R.L. Stein was dropping some gems on us.
He had some symbolism.
Yes.
He was actually one of the first reasons that I started noticing that what was said wasn't what is.
Right. He's the reason why I don't believe everything that I see. Fucking kid remember the kid in the camp, and it was a whole CIA experiment where they were trying to recruit him and basically see if he was strong enough. The freaking the experiments.
It's funny when you realize that.
Oh my God, the one we just watched where the parents sent the son away because he was a jokester. He kept, playing jokes on people, so they sent him to the camp. Come to find out, they were fucking cloning the kids and sending the clones back home. They weren't sending the original kids back home. They were sending the clones back home. The complacent, the follow the orders, the respectful ones. The ones that were free thinkers, they had to stay in the fucking camp. I'm so happy I never went to camp.
So that's an actual thing. They're called think tanks.
Yeah.
And what they do is they don't send a clone back, but they put your kid in, you sign them up for a government facility, and they end up going into a problem solver tank.
Right. And they alter some shit. MK Ultra for kids.
I mean,
Now they don't have to, put you in a clinic. Now they just put it on the TV.
well, there's no law preventing YouTube from subliminal messaging in it.
Right. And also in school too.
The reason that we switched from CRT or the old flicking yellow lights that we used to have to the LED lights is that specific frequencies that the LED lights have are meant and designed to attract you, to attract and focus you.
I was tickling his balls. Are meant to distract you.
Ah, my baby, the freak. And it is what it is.
So I talked a lot of shit about this.
You guys.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and now I was like, oh, this hurricane's not gonna hit us. Fuck it, it's a pussy. It's not coming.
I'm just looking at her and I'm like, you do realize that water is wet, right?
Yeah.
And that
air is
witches
dry.
melt in water. We know this because Wizard of Oz was a documentary. Changed my mind.
It's a different type of witch.
What kind of witch was she?
The type that can melt with water. She wasn't that powerful.
So she was a sand witch.
Yeah, get it? Sandwich.
Oh, that was stupid and funny.
Humor, fun. Fuck it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're watching this hurricane right now, and I gotta tell you, honestly, Might be a short fucking podcast.
They're
Are
getting
you-
fucked up. I need to check my grand.
The live stream I sent you?
I'm gonna send you the one that I'm watching.
Yeah, we're watching separate live streams as well as outside of our bunker's windows, and currently we're underwater.
Oh, I need photos of that sent to me. Stat.
Wow, the
We can
only
post them up
stat.
someplace. So
The only stat you're gonna get is the status quo of. The only thing that fundamentally I wanted to talk about today is that hurricanes suck, and it's something that's outside of our control. Deal with it with proper preparation.
I
Hurricane.
disagree.
Hurricanes are definitely women.
Okay, go on.
Wholeheartedly disagree. It is totally within our control.
I would, if I had to pick a gender
No?
for her, definitely.
All the time a woman. You wouldn't choose a man.
You think about Storm, right? From X-Men.
Yeah, real blowhard.
And
Talks
then-
a lot of shit, doesn't accomplish anything. You're
Oh,
right.
Shut up.
I agree with you.
She definitely accomplished shit.
Yeah, she married a rich man.
Okay, I'm
As a
talking about.
princess.
I'm talking about the Storm. Okay.
Oh.
You see, this is what I mean. You know, I'll start at like a 2, and Talon takes that shit to a 10. And I'm like, why are we getting into this? I just was basically saying.
All right, but mermaids.
Oh, you want to get on the mermaids?
But mermaids.
Okay, mermaids. Yeah, the original
Mermaid.
mermaid from the Orisha, the black one.
Yeah,
I don't
except it
care
was
about
a-
black or white, but
Dutch. It was a story
Mm-hmm.
about the Atlantean people who used to come in, and what we would do is take you down with us.
So, did you ever look into the Orisha? Yemaya?
Have you ever provided me a book about this?
I have a book right there of all the Orishas.
We'll put it on the list of shit I need to read. All right, I'm already balls deep in lion's mane mushrooms because I'm interested about learning more about mushrooms and
I want
mitoculture.
to get some lion's mane
It's-
because you can make that shit like chicken. Have you ever seen?
So
I saw someone make a spicy chicken sandwich with fucking lion's mane.
basically because of how moist it is outside now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really considering growing that lion's mane, even though it's September, October.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get some real good quality mushrooms to play with. And that's another thing to do. As where our profits are low, the stock market's crashed. Fuck you boomers for crashing the stock market. It was called stop playing the real estate industry as poorly as you did. Stop printing out money and then saying you're not printing out money.
You know, we could make our own money, literally.
We could make our own money, but breaking that legal tender would send the IRS's 87,000 new agents at us.
No.
Quick, fast, and in a
Who
hurry.
says that they have to know?
Well, secrecy. Snitches get stitches, so what kind of currency are we selling? Secrets?
But stitches get stitches. They also get buried in ditches.
That's true.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of alligators out here.
Right.
One of us
And a lot of hogs.
Ooh, what do you think would be the worst way to go between
A hog.
a hog?
Yeah.
While alive,
Yes. They're gonna take their time.
they snap the bone.
Yeah.
Their teeth are blunt,
Mm.
just sharp enough to rend, and
Yeah.
tear.
With an alligator, you'll drown first.
I
With
mean,
a hog, you're gonna have to live through that shit
well, with an alligator, they're gonna thrash and they're gonna rotate. And
under the
spin.
water because they take you down below.
Well, if
so
they
that
can get you out of a body of water.
Oh, most of the time they're by the water. They're gonna drag you to the bottom, wait for you to rot.
I didn't know they waited till they rot.
Yeah.
Fuck, not even
Mhm.
fresh meat.
No, they like it. Rotten.
Why not just scavenge more? I'm starting to think that nature's fucked up.
Nature is a little fucked up, but hey, that's nature.
I'm still confused at how in fucking Florida we have a designated lake designed for alligators to dump them and capture them.
Because you don't want to kill them because the reason why they're here, right? What do they eat? What do they keep out?
Okay, I understand.
Everything
but
has a purpose. You
I-
can't just
just having one lake with all of those predators mean that destroys their economic. This is why I'm not on fucking Discovery, all right? It destroys their ecosystem.
Maybe it's their way of slowly doing it. You know?
Yeah. I always thought it was a mafia.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But the mafia
That's how to survive in modern years to become a corporate. Get a positive public relations company whenever you get targeted. Also Pfizer. Hashtag Pfizer.
we stare at each other.
Yeah. And Mark hasn't picked up the audio cue most of the time he should be piping in because he's not used to not being in the studio.
You guys are making me sick already. My stomach is kind of churning over here. I
Motherfucker has envy.
You're sitting in his lap with your arm around him. Getting a little hand job there. You know what I mean?
A little hand job. Again, whose dick are you talking about? I'm the 6 size champ.
I can't get hand jobs because the massive girth of myself will blow out my wife's shoulder.
You hear his gut is gonna blow out his girth, which is all around his mid waist. Nice dad bod, bro. I know you don't have to sell yourself, but damn, you could do some sit-ups.
Listen, dad bods are in, okay?
Dad bods and Wrangler jeans, apparently.
Dad bods and Wrangler. I've never
No,
been
I
into
didn't
muscle
get on
men.
the Wrangler jean bandwagon because I'm not a wrist bender, and I respect myself.
But Wrangler jeans are worker man.
Ones with
Wrangler
the hook on
jeans
them?
are the type of jeans that you go and shop with your boyfriend.
I feel as though you never did handyman services. You don't know how to fix shit. Are you constantly calling another man to solve your problems?
No, I just wear the proper pants, shorts. You were in Florida. Jeans are not necessary.
Right, I was gonna say we live in Florida. No one wears jeans.
I wear jeans or slacks every time I visit over your place because you have the equivalent of the Holocaust of ticks.
Jeans make all of my cracks sweat.
Yeah?
Yes, I do not like jeans. I hate jeans.
Oh, I thought it was just Talon by himself that did that.
Yeah, I'm a leggings girl because leggings are faithful. They stay with you, skinny or big. Now that my hips are spreading.
That's true. I did that.
Every man on the planet is happy that you're a leggings girl.
There really is no downside to leggings. There only is a downside to middling.
What are middlings?
It's where they have that, the top is nice, the bottom is nice, but they have the equivalent of a muffin here, but a muffin that's squeezed.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has the ridging already inside. Yeah, now you know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't. You're gonna have to show me a picture, like a fupa, like.
No, front pussy puff. No,
no.
I'm talking about the women who don't have a nice tight middle, or even an appealing looking middle, who use the tight material to squeeze that specific part of their stomach.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
it looks,
like Spanx.
I don't know what
you don't know
Spanx
what
are.
those are. Okay, so
But that's like probably the brand.
A girdle or sort.
Girdles are nice.
A girdle would hold in
What are
the fat.
Right. Yeah.
Almost like
I'm asking for
remember my butt
standards of beauty.
girdles?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually asking for standards of beauty.
Whoa, you hear that?
Yeah. Here comes the storm. Truly.
Well, let's do a hurricane update. How is it looking over there for y'all?
Well,
The winds picked up.
we have a hurricane. Osceola.
Broward, Marion, Duval, St. John's, Clay, Flager, Lucy, Crystal Badong, Nassau, Coastal Canoodle.
Those are tropical storm
Oh.
warnings.
It updated.
Actual hurricane. Osceola.
Really, though, it's just the constant blue backgrounds that are glowing are designed to attract your attention because we've been indoctrinated to be hypnotized by blue light. It's really insidious how all of these devices, this computer screen, that computer screen, your tablet, they all
An
have
iPad.
blue
It's not a tablet.
tablet.
It's an iPad.
The tablet is what it is. A Q-tip is still a cotton swab.
This is an iPad. This iPad was $2,500.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
iPad.
that is a $2,500 tablet that you have.
No, it's an iPad.
Ugh.
It's an iPad.
That's Talon. You want to give her that old Iron 5?
It acts as a computer or a laptop. That's why
Yes.
I got it.
That is technically what tablets do as well.
Boo! It's a motherfucking iPad. God damn it! I paid.
Well, that's like saying I don't have a computer. I have a Dell. No, it's a computer.
No, Dell is the
Dell.
brand.
I don't have peanut butter. I have Jif.
Hey, it's Jiffy.
Get the fuck out. Moms like
That's
you
what- I'm
choose
not drinking
Jif.
coffee. Not drinking coffee. Drinking ground up beans soaked in water. I mean, come on. How technical are you going to get here?
I don't
Very.
know. Let's ask a modern day politician how many labels they can apply. What's
Oh
your
my
pronouns?
Okay, yeah, it's wind.
Uh-huh.
It's
There
starting
comes the
to.
howl.
It's starting to who?
And with that, let's do Florida Man and cut it early because we're about to get cut regardless of if we want to.
Yeah, I got to have you take over the Florida Man today. Can you do that for me?
No. This is your stick, brother.
This is my shtick, but I
Good
don't know how
God.
clear
What
I'm
the
coming in.
fuck is
I'm
going
giving
on in the
everybody a
world?
fantastic
All right, let's pull it up on the main
preview
screen.
They're gonna show it.
Yeah, of course.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's how this is modern day. If it doesn't have a little bit of blood or titty, nobody gives a fuck.
I know.
Blood
I know.
and titty is the way to go.
He just randomly stabs them.
Oh.
Are they arguing?
Yeah, this is going to be awesome.
Did it so hard that he tried to decapitate the motherfucker.
What?
Well, we called him the victim, and they didn't give the name, so. Ah, well. Dead.
What? All right. Well, wait. So he was the
Nope.
guy, the victim's
People-
father's caregiver. So he
Uh,
took care of that
Defining
guy's
12
father.
numbers.
the victim's family identified him as Tom, said that Clark had worked as the victim's father's caregiver for 10 years.
Now hold. How do we know the victim's father didn't hire him for a hit?
That's true.
That's all I'm saying.
Remember, these boomers fucking hate their
That's
kids.
all I'm saying.
I'm just saying, these boomers hate their
Sounds
fucking
like a hit
kids.
to me. What if? What if
What if? Right now,
he was just like, "Hey, I'm tired of him talking. You know,
I want to assassinate the Prime Minister of Milan.
here's 10K up front.
Just
You know,
puts the money.
You get his inheritance.
I don't want your inheritance. I want to pay off my bills.
This is terrible.
This disgusting crime will not be tolerated in Lee County, Sheriff Carmen Marcino says. I gotta agree with him. There's gotta be a limit. When you're starting to use scissors to cut someone's head off, this is why I said escalation of force. If you're using a weapon when the other person doesn't have a weapon, you the bitch. Unless you're outnumbered. But, you know, he wasn't outnumbered.
Well, you got to hand it to this guy. He probably did a lot for like gun rights.
Stick a fork in this one. We're done. This has been Talon Truth.
Yogi Bear.
And Mark Santana.
In Gods and Prophets. Let's hope that you learned absolutely nothing today, as we're all worried about